Hello guys, welcome back. I hope everyone is doing great. Today I want to talk about two fragrances. One is from the house of Labo, Labdanum 18, and the other one is Musc Ravageur from the house of Frederic Malle. I have two samples here of the fragrances, and the Labo fragrance turned into not a full bottle, but a half-ounce bottle that I decided I'm taking on vacation with me as a daytime fragrance. These two fragrances have a lot of similarities, and they show up on sites like Profumo or Fragrantica as smelling like the other. And what's interesting is that the nose behind both fragrances is Maurice Roucel, and I had no idea until today, actually. I found it so interesting. I was so intrigued. Why, I don't know. Maybe I'm a nerd. I took out the sample of Musc Ravageur, and I do have the official sample of Labdanum 18. This is what led to the half-ounce bottle, and I think eventually I'll get a bigger size as well. So there is actually 14 years between the release of Musc Ravageur and the release of Labdanum 18. Musc Ravageur was released in 2000. Labdanum 18 was released in 2014. And the original iteration, the original formula of Musc Ravageur is said to be, I've never gotten my nose on it, for sure much more animalic than the current version. So maybe I found the current version boring. I tried twice. I had a bottle years ago and ended up selling it. And then most recently, in the last year, I did pick up another bottle, and for some reason I ended up giving that one away to my sister. So I do not have a bottle of Musc Ravageur. I'm okay with that. If I were to find an original formula, the more animalic version, I would be interested. I'd be interested at least to get my nose on it. But as it stands today, it's not really something at the moment that I have in my collection. I may, who knows. Labdanum 18. This is the official sample. They come in these adorable little sort of brown envelopes. And I say they're adorable, but they don't give these out for free. You have to pay for these. But then again, I paid for the Musc Ravageur sample as well. And I went through a little bit, just a little bit, before I decided I want a full bottle, and I purchased the half-ounce for the vacation, thinking that I could always pick up the 1.7 or the 100 ml at any point after I get back. So because I saw that the fragrances were compared, and then I found out that the nose behind both is Maurice Roucel, I decided to pull out my sample of Musc Ravageur and do a side-by-side comparison. And I do have thoughts. I do have thoughts about how they're different. I do think there are a lot of differences between the two fragrances. Yes, overall, they're both sort of vanillic, sweet, ambery fragrances as a general genre, but I actually think they're quite different when it really comes down to it. So I have Labdanum 18 on my left. I think it's about a 3-hour dry down. I'm going to spray it again. And I have Musc Ravageur on the right, also a 3-hour dry down, but we're spraying that one again as well. And you guys let me know if you like one, the other, if you've compared them, what you think. I'm sure there are people that prefer the Frederic Malle. I'm sure there are people that prefer the Labo. At the moment, obviously, I prefer Labdanum 18. So the differences to my nose are apparent right from the get-go. Before I even looked at the notes and did a side-by-side comparison of the note pyramids, the Musc Ravageur on my right wrist definitely opens more fresh. I definitely get a good dose of the lavender in here, and it's musky. Yes, it's an ambery vanillic fragrance right from the get-go, but it's definitely a fresher take on an ambery vanillic fragrance. Labdanum 18, on the other hand, is warm and more full-bodied right from the beginning. As Musc Ravageur dries down, there's a lot of musk in here. I think there's musk at the top, there's musk in the heart of the fragrance. So it's definitely a more airy fragrance, even though it's ambery and vanillic. It's definitely more airy. It's not a super light fragrance, but when you do a side-by-side comparison, Labdanum 18 is definitely a warmer fragrance. For instance, the color of Labdanum 18 would be like an ambery, light brown caramel type color if I had to put a color to the scent profile. And Musc Ravageur, I would say, is more like a cream color, a tannish color. Labdanum 18 does have maybe slight similarities to Chanel Le Lion. I've heard of that comparison as well, but in reality, it's nothing like Le Lion. Le Lion is smoky, leathery. The Labdanum is really prominent. There's an overdose of Labdanum in that fragrance. This one obviously also has a lot of Labdanum in it, but it's not as smoky as Le Lion by Chanel. So let's get that out of the way. It's not Chanel's Le Lion. It actually, to my nose, is a less sweet version of Maître Parfum at Gantier's Ambre Perso. I sold that fragrance. I think that this one, for me in my collection, took the place of that fragrance. That one, in comparison to this, when I got my nose on this Labo fragrance, I realized that Ambre Perso was actually too sweet for me. So all in all, I would say that Labdanum 18 develops a little more full-bodied and more syrupy. It lacks the amount of muskiness that Musc Ravageur has. It lacks that sort of airiness that comes along with the muskiness of Musc Ravageur. I also get the tonka bean in here, which is a warm, rich, nutty sweetness. I also get the fact that there's the Labdanum in here, which sort of gives the sweetness, and it gives almost a texture to the fragrance. It's almost textured. So it has this earthiness to it. It's like a light brown caramel color in my mind. It's more full-bodied, and I really like the texture that comes along with the fragrance. It's what made me purchase the half-ounce bottle. While Musc Ravageur, that lavender comes through for quite a while. I definitely get the freshness. I definitely get the lavender, much more musky, and the vanillic component. Yes, it's ambery, so it's not a full-on gourmand vanilla in the sense of like a cupcake vanilla. That's true. It's an ambery, warm vanilla, but it lacks that tonka bean. It lacks the earthiness that comes along with the Labdanum. It lacks the warmth, and it lacks the texture. So it's more airy and fresh. So they're both ambery, sweet vanillic fragrances, but Labdanum 18 is a much more warm sweetness. I prefer it, I like it, and I like it better than Ambre Perso by Maître Parfum at Gantier, which, like I said, I ended up selling almost a full bottle of that fragrance after talking about it on this channel. When I tested this one, even before I got the official sample, I was in the Labo boutique and I sprayed it on skin a few times, and then I went about my day. And then I purchased the official sample and then used that a few times. Even though there's not much of a dent in it, it was enough for me to decide to sell Ambre Perso, which is just so vanillic, and it has that sort of slightly masculine aromatic, I think it's lavender in there, but it's amplified. Well, it's not amplified. It's definitely an amber fragrance, but it definitely has a little bit of that fougere aspect, which I didn't mind too much. It's a beautiful fragrance, but I would replace it, and I did replace it with Labdanum 18. So now I just have this adorable bottle, and the experience when you go to the Labo boutique and you purchase from the boutique is really quite nice. I do see the Labo fragrances on eBay. They're probably samples without the official label. They have a clear label instead. And my Ylang 49 fragrance is like that. Not a problem if I'm getting a great deal, but it is nice to go to the Labo boutique and they mixed the fragrance for me. Always very helpful, always nice people in the one that's not far from my house. And so it's a nice experience to purchase the fragrance at the boutique. And when I purchased this, I got my nose on the Tuberose fragrance, which is a New York City exclusive. And there's a time of year, I'm not sure if it's in the summer or in September, when all the boutiques carry all of the fragrances from all the cities. But right now, the Tuberose fragrance is a New York City exclusive, and the woman that was helping me in the boutique said that it does really quite well. So I purchased the ½ ounce, and then when I'm done with this, I'll probably graduate to a bigger bottle. So in the end, when Labdanum 18 dries down, it's really powdery. It is a powdery fragrance. It almost feels like a luxurious adult baby powder. It's beautiful. I'm sure many of you are familiar with the fragrance. Let me know what you think. It's a warm, ambery, powdery fragrance in the end, and the Labdanum provides not only an earthiness, there's a texture to the fragrance, and there's a nice warm sweetness from that tonka bean. It's powdery. I love how powdery it is. It's clean, but at the same time, it's ambery. While Musc Ravageur is definitely a lighter, ambery vanillic fragrance, this musky. It's definitely musky. I get the hint of that aromatic lavender. Even in the dry down, I feel like Musc Ravageur maintains a little bit of a freshness when I compare it to Labdanum 18 side by side. They both have animalic notes. Labdanum 18 has civet and castoreum. I don't get anything super animalic in the fragrance, to be honest. And Musc Ravageur has the musk, like I said, in the mid and in the base. I think earlier I said as a top note and in the mid. It's in the mid and it's in the base. So it maintains a muskiness all the way down to the dry down. It does have maybe just a hint of an animalic muskiness. But like I said, I think the original version was meant to be animalic. Maybe this one is more crowd pleasing. Maybe this one is more mass appealing. There's just a hint in the background, something a little bit animalic about the musk. And in Labdanum 18, I'm really not getting anything animalic. It turns powdery, and I absolutely love it. They're both great fragrances. They're both nice. Musc Ravageur is a classic, obviously, so I'm not here to say that it's not a great fragrance. I just don't own it at the moment. So those are my thoughts on the two fragrances, the comparisons, the differences, the similarities. They're a little bit similar, but really, in reality, when it comes down to it, they're two different fragrances to my nose. So let me know in the comments what you guys think of these two fragrances, whether you own both, whether you like them, dislike them. And as always, thank you so much for watching, your comments, and your support. Until next time, bye guys.